rear axle on the back. You can drive them. So you can't get mine for yours.
Yes, but then the sheriff there.
I don't know.
Just real quick, when y'all are able to get
82 or 82.
Hey, how are y'all? It's nothing. Tax dollars. I hope you don't have to come back again.
I will.
Keep going right, all right.
Of course, y'all.
No, that's, I mean, that's where that money comes from. When we're making the rest, we're fines where that money comes from.
Everything sure enough looks, so you don't hang something.
It all works itself out. So we need more.
You put it on. And you can help it without having all that extra. My boys do not like picking up jobs like that.
Can you hear me down there?
You ain't going there.
What's my turn?
So part of the thing is the next week.
I don't know when. I went around Creek Creek and down on Snake Creek. Two logs that have come out since Atlanta. Now, I knew one of them was there because the brother on the beans got tall, didn't see it was sprayer, and I remember jumping in it. Below the train. When it's bad jam, he started the bridge.
On the ER funding there, you have
Field.
sheets all put together and
Was
started
it-
with what it does. At the beginning, you have the CDBG that we were just awarded, it's $1 million. You see it moved over to the right-hand column, there's the revenue portion, and the subject broadband grant is $2 million, and it was awarded also. I sent y'all that information last week. And then the ARPA funding, that we have a balance of that, 1.256761.41 that we have available. And we know it's committed fund, the amount of $4,256,761.41. The current bid on the renovations, the next section you see there, is you remember the $4 million. And the equipment quote is $2,138,178 even. Which brings it to $6,338,178. If you take the $4,256,761.41 from that, it leaves a balance of $2,081,416.69. We still have the ambulance grant, is the next thing on your list. That's a 1.8, but we can apply for up to $1.8 billion. It's 100% match, nothing to the county. And that's for the Department of Health. Then the next, you also have back up at the top there, as far as with that, you have the federal direct appropriations, USDA. That's something that Congressman Kustoff's been working on, and that's $215,000 for helipad. Now, that hasn't been awarded yet, but he does feel more confident now since the election's changed. And then you have the Delta Regional Authority, and of course, the Delta DRA was the same thing that we got, it was awarded last week, $2.2 million for monitoring, and then the $2.5 million for the Project Horizon. So that's the same grant that we awarded $4.7 million last week for. And that grant will open again, I think, in February. So that one is still open for us too. So that is all the funding that we talked about all the way through this thing. But anyway, I'm sure we'll get some of the DRA, I don't know how much it'll be, and hopefully we'll get that 215,000, but anyway, as you can see there, we're, $2,081,000 short just right today until we get those grants awarded. And those would be for the equipment, and the equipment obviously can come later after the building itself, but, then if you look on down there, it says additional funding if needed is the $2 million red leg loan that we're talking about tonight. That's a zero interest loan. It's actually for 10 years, but it would be 9 years payment. And Craig can speak to that, there was a meeting that we just talked to. And then they decided that that's the way they wanted to do it.
And if you look below that, guys, that's what I was thinking about also with our current ambulance contract. Now, it's costing us $220,000 a year. So,
You can use it to repay that red leg loan. And then we have 2 more payments on the PEC building, and those payments are $125,000 each. And then the maintenance agreements on the CT scanner, the stationary X-ray machine, and the portable X-ray machine. As you can see there towards the bottom, the maintenance agreement's $127,516.32, but that $125 annual payment could service that debt. And I have asked PEC to forgive that. I'm not sure they're going to, but I have asked them to. And if they don't, but since this is the later year, that would mean we'd have to pay one payment of that, and then before that debt paid off, the $125,000. Would you agree?
The red leg loan is where the USDA makes a loan to PEC, and PEC in turn makes a loan to us. It's 0% interest. It's a 10-year loan, and it has to be paid back in 10 years. We changed the payoff to 9 years because otherwise, this document will probably be signed the first part of January. The loan docs will be signed, and that's why I say loan docs, PEC and the USDA and the PEC and us. And if we didn't defer that, PEC basically have to be making those payments for that first year until we use that. We're not going to spend that money until some point in time later in the year. And so we're not borrowing that money from PEC to later in the year. We have to do advances, they do advances to us. We have to submit them expenses and show what we spent the money on from equipment. And then they in turn will pay us back if we supply that information. But we waited that year because otherwise they would have to pay that money out of their own coffers for almost a year. And they prefer not to do that, and as you understand why, they're helping us out here. So it's a 9-year payment. And it changes from, it's like $16,000 a month to advance them, but the 9-year payment will be $18,519 for 107 payments, and the final payment will be a little bit less. But that's why we did it that way. And we have the, we are just on that. We also have, the promissory note, we have a loan agreement, and those are consistent with each other. The promissory note has got some blanks because we're not sure about the dates to fill in. The payment amount, I just told you, but we need to wait about, they get those signed, we know what dates to plug in that note. If they've approved the note, the loan agreement, that's really their forms. We've used in the past with other ones with them. But the resolution is what, when we get the resolution loan agreement, at least prove it out. The note, wait and blanks, I understand that, but we're the same form. But I wanted you to make sure you had those because the resolution refers to the loan agreement and to the note.
And it's up to, it's not $2 million, it's up to $2 million. So we still have an opportunity for this other funding that I've talked to you about already. So whatever we get in addition to.
Well, that was my next question. So we're just saying,
if we don't get those grants.
You're basically borrowing $2 million. If you don't use it, it goes back. You're not bound to give it to us, they advance money to us. They might use that a year, they send the money they've got back.
You're not bound to it. It can be that much less if, depending on what we get from DRA funds. If we hit a home run like we did last week, then it could be $1 million less.
The main thing with the resolution is just, they want to, what we both say that, you know, the county's secured this loan, the county's full faith and credit. In fact, you got tax authority, is security for this loan.
You're not tying up the building or anything, any kind of collateral like that.
I know I've already asked this, but why are we getting in the medical equipment business? Why would they not bring their equipment?
Well,
Now, I get it, we get the building like they want, that's just the way
So
it is.
the deal is, the thing with the contract that they offered us at no cost to the county was they wanted the county to furnish the equipment, they wanted the county to own the building too. And I guess but anything, the previous county commission had talked about that, and that's what they wanted to do, and that's what they had voted to do all along. That way, if it's not Magnolia, it could be Baptist or someone else, you know, run and operate it, so that we don't get down to healthcare business. And this is following the same, as far as some have asked about leasing equipment. Yeah, we can lease equipment. This is what Magnolia does in those, service agreements are the same thing that they do in their equipment. They buy their equipment and they do service agreements like that on what we call it.
How much does it cost to lease the equipment?
And I haven't run the numbers on that. Again, we followed the same pattern. The county had said that we wanted to own the building and own the equipment. And we could go back and look at that, but I haven't done a lease purchase or anything like that, or a lease agreement.
Is there a copy of the contract here tonight in the packet?
A copy of,
Contract with Magnolia?
no, don't have one here tonight. You, Craig, did you bring one? One that's already been approved this time?
I mean, every people I've talked to say that once you buy the equipment, what are you gonna do when it becomes obsolete?
Yeah.
You want the 2.1, at that point, it's probably gonna be $3 million to replace it. Or if we just leased it, then
Well, we
we
can
get,
look at that. We can look into that.
we ain't gotta come up with $2.1 million to purchase the equipment up front.
Well, again, this is what we talked about, and everybody voted on prior. This is the direction that everybody chose to go, and that's what we've done. That's what we've gotten quotes on. If that's what you want to do, that doesn't change anything tonight, because the equipment will be, 7, 8 months out anyway. We can ask those questions.
I would just like to know what the lease, if we leased it, what that number would look like. That way we know we ain't gotta come up with $2.1 million and,
Yeah.
in a year's time, it'd be obsolete and we gotta come up with $3 million to replace it.
We can do that, we can look into that if you want to, and if it's a better deal, that's what we can do. Because we haven't obligated ourselves to anything with the equipment as of yet, obviously. But then approved to move forward with it. I'll be happy to do that, but this is following the same path that Magnolia follows.
I got a question, Mayor. The packet that was sent out to us had a deficit of $699,284.64.
Yeah.
And as I understood it up until I got here, that was the deficit, and that's what was marketed as being the target goal to facilitate the borrowing.
That's taking the account $1 million DRA, that we got the $1 million DRA. These are the actual numbers of what we've been awarded, because it's what's in your packet tonight. That's what I wanted to present to everybody, was the actual numbers of what we have in today's world. See, here's what you're talking about right there. And that was based on, all these numbers coming to fruition.
Right. I just didn't get that information till I got here.
Yeah, we went back and redid that today, because I wanted to give you, in fact, I think it was Brad suggested that to me, that to give a rundown like that. And I talked this morning, and so I went back and I did that spreadsheet like it is there, and these are all real-time numbers on what we actually have received. If you see it says awarded, not like this one did, where none of that shows awarded. None of them were awarded at the time this was printed. That's what that was.
I do have one contract question, Craig, if you could, you and the mayor. As I understood it, there was I don't remember seeing it, but I remember hearing it, and I think I may have read over it somewhere over the last several months about a separation or McNairy County versus, not versus, but either or could opt out with a time period of written separation. Is that still standing? That may not be the right question. Does Magnolia have the option to written notification to separate?
I looked at that later, but I think there is a clause in there that says that they do have that right.
Do you know what the time frame was?
I do not, but maybe.
I remember 60 days.
Or something, I'm not sure about that. I know there's something.
That leads into my next set of questions. I don't want to get into it right now. We'll do it in full commission, but what happens if that happens? You know, I mean, down the road, you're 3-4 years in and you have that.
That's why I asked Jim Hobson to come tonight, because we had the meeting here with him, to have that conversation with him, with you and everybody else could ask those questions of him. And if you remember, he said right there about where Doug's sitting at.
He's committed.
Exactly, that's what he
Several
said.
years.
He said, we're committed to McNairy County. He said, our board is committed to McNairy County. He said, we've been in this since the beginning.
Absolutely.
And he said, we want to get this done. And he said, in fact, if you remember, he talked about the specialty plan. He talked about various things that they want to do.
I agree.
So I
agree.
I understand what you're saying, and I know what the contract, it does say 60 days, as you said, but.
I wish we had a copy of that.
They spent how much money? $350,000 or something?
They've already spent well over 300,000, I don't know, with CON, and with what they've done this spring, I don't know what that number would be now, but we've actually had 2 renewals on the CON, and each time you get a renewal, you don't just get a renewal. Magnolia's been the one that's been at the table since I've been elected and before.
Yes, sir. I want to make sure that everybody in this room knows, and you do too, that I stand firmly on that ER. I was for it from its inception, the project, but the financing and the funding right now, based on the criteria, could be a situation. And that's what I'm concerned with for McNairy County. Don't discredit Magnolia in any shape, form, or fashion. I don't want it perceived that way. I voted to spend the necessary money. You're talking about 300. I think we spent over 400 for the architectural drawing site survey.
That's about $250,000 there, but Magnolia's spent, they have spent themselves, I don't know how much on the CON, but 300,000, $300,000 they spent on the CON. So there's been a lot of money spent to make this happen, and we just started the architectural work like you're talking about after the conversation with Jim Hobson. After y'all were committed to that, and y'all agreed to start the architectural work. So we spent probably $240,000 on the engineering.
I voted for that.
To get all this done. But this funding proposal here, it's not going to require any additional funding other than if, like that $125,000, if we have to, just depending on how everything falls, it could be that we'd have to pay one payment of that $125,000 or so. It could be. But there's no new tax dollars. We're not ever going to get an ER. We're talking about a full trauma center ER. We're not talking about a Band-Aid station. They're talking about sending a trauma surgeon here to McNairy County. This is 45 medical professionals coming to this facility. It's not a Band-Aid station. Again, it is a real deal. It's what,
I don't question that.
you couldn't ask for any better, but we're not ever gonna get one any cheaper than this. I don't think that.
I'm not advocating that.
I'm happy to go back and look into it. Yeah. I'm happy to go back and look into leasing equipment, see if that'll save us any money or not, but.
Well, if we lease it, would they be responsible for maintenance? I mean, because that may save us all this.
I don't know.
That's questions we need to know to make that decision.
I'd be happy to find those questions, have to answer those questions. And again, it's not going to impact what we're doing, it impact which way we go with the equipment, whether we only release it. The only thing I know is everybody that they know that had conversations with us asked us to own it. They think that's the best way to go. And that's what we're going to follow. And the commission and that's
Mayor, are there any other grants available coming up in this spring, this summer?
Hey, I got over
Help
plenty of
offset
this.
DRA grant.
Outside of
He's a
that,
lot bigger than I was.
There probably will be, but, in that, the ambulance grant, the $1.8 million for the ambulance grant, on there too. You know, it's coming up for sale too. It's listed on there right in the center of the page. That $1.8 million grant to buy ambulance. Of course, we're doing the ambulance building now, is what we plan. But the ambulances themselves, and that's a zero match grant, that's a good grant. But I mean, the DRA and that one are the two big ones that I know of. There may be some smaller ones that, you know, that'll pop up, but I'm not familiar with any right now that tell you exactly about. I know we worked on this for 6 years. I know that we've turned over a lot of rocks trying to make this happen, and I know that the majority of the people in the county that talk to me want to see this done. They want to see it completed. So, again, this is Magnolia, it's finished the payment since the beginning. And I spent more time on this than everything else combined.
Mr. Kennedy, what do we need, as far as tonight, as far as to take action?
Approve the loan agreement and the resolution. You're going through the note you can, but again, the note has got those blanks. If you're uncomfortable with that, I get that. The amount of code, we didn't have to put it in, I just want to that start date will be.
Right.
And because the resolution refers to those, well, in the note, I do have those, as you see, you know, we've already talked about. We approved those, USDA, English Electric, and myself, have all approved that.
So this, yeah, I mean, if we don't use it, it's not costing anything.
Again, it only, you know, that, no money is quote unquote loaned to us until we send them the payment we've made and copies of all the documentation that shows we purchased our equipment for the hospital. Then they'll basically send us the money.
And then they're spent, so we come back and all that money be improved, whatever be done in the equipment.
So this just starts the process, correct?
We just gotta get this done to make sure we can secure that loan.
Right, because that loan will go away.
0% interest.
The loan will go away.
Do I hear a motion to recommend the full commission, the rural economic development loan agreement?
So moved.
There's a second.
Second.
Any more questions? Feelings, concerns?
So we get it, we don't necessarily have to use it, we don't need it. Just basically get it where it goes.
Before any of it's spent, we'll come back to you guys. We'll have to, because this is not what the documentation, you gotta be doing. We'll come back to you guys all over again. By that time, I'll have you, the next letter, I'll have you to do the questions you want. So, we'll spend that.
The purpose of this loan was to purchase equipment. So if you decide you're not gonna purchase the equipment, so if you're going to the route, that may be an issue as far as this loan as well. So I don't think you misunderstand that. This is, again, we don't spend that money. We have more than that, we don't know. It's 0% interest for 10 years.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Next is resolution 11-019, and that is the same thing, saying if we do borrow that money, that we will pay it back. Is there a motion to approve the resolution? Second? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have a copy of the numbers from 2 events, uncertain Halloween event. Besides what everybody ate. Like,
I'm being serious.
I know. They may want the same grocery store I'm at there.
I don't need junk, but I don't need $2,600
In 2 days. Anything else further for the budget committee before we adjourn? The motion to adjourn? Second.
Thank you, sir.
All right.